Hello, YouTube, and and everyone who may be listening in. I've been asked to maybe give a few thoughts, stories, so to speak, or memories of my life, certain things I've been through, and kind of been thinking and wondering over what could I speak on, because I'm usually a pretty private person. And I was thinking something quite appropriate or being appropriate to speak on. And I thought about one particular incident of my life where about 9 or 10 years old, living in the Jets where I came up from. And I got into a little scrape, so to speak, by no fault of my own. Well, in everybody's neighborhood, they usually have somebody who's a little bit off in one way or the other.
And you were that person.
And this person here, he had a keeper, his older brother, who usually, whenever I used to see them, I usually would see the two of them, and I knew why. I found out later why. His older brother was always with him. So anyway, one day my sister and I, we were sitting in the playground, swinging in the swings, and there wasn't any more swings left, and I call him Crazy Joe, wandered over to us, telling us, hey, get up, I want to swing. And he's mainly looking at my sister, then he turns around and looks at me and stares and say, I don't like the way you look. And I just looked at him and whatnot, didn't say nothing, but next thing, Crazy Joe hauls off and hits me hard in the chest. Well, instantly, I just hit him right back. Next thing you know, Crazy Joe's eyes are bulging out his eyes. He's starting to almost foam at the mouth. And the next thing you know, he's getting ready to charge at me. And next thing I know, his keeper, his brother, grabbed him around his chest, his back, just held it. And he was just flaring, trying to his best to get at me. He was just so mad because I hit him back. And his brother said, y'all just leave, just leave, just leave, just go and go. I looked at the situation. I said, let's get her told up my sister, let's get out of here. And we left. Anyway, I guess maybe a few weeks later, I was outside and just minding my own business. And who should I happen to run to? Crazy Joe. And this time he didn't have his keeper with him, his brother. He saw me. Next thing you know, he coming at me like crazy. Charging like I don't know what. Next thing I know, hey, I got to do what I got to do. We get to going at it. And we was flaring at each other. He was getting some good licks in, I must tell you. But I was holding my own. And I guess somehow, some wind got across from folks. There's a little fight going on or whatever. And next thing I looked up, here come Crazy Joe's keeper, which I was glad to see, very glad to see. And somehow wind got back to my mother that I was out there. She came out. She grabs me. Crazy Joe's keeper grabs him. And they separate us and we going about our way. I remember getting back in the house, my mother looking at me and had this bad cut across my lip. And she said, did he cut you with something? I said, his fist. But after that, I never had any more run-ins with Crazy Joe, because I guess maybe I stood up for myself or whatever, but he never came at me like that again. But just imagine, just somebody want to fight you just because I don't like the way you look. I guess he wanted to change mine. But anyway, I was so glad when that family finally did move away, I tell you that. But that's just one little thing, a little crazy something I just happen to remember. And I just say maybe one or two more. You know, ever since I was a little boy, I love water. I see some water and I just mind my eyes would bug out and say, man, water, I wish I can get in it. It's something about water. I remember I couldn't have been no more than 4 or 5, and my mother and father then went on a little, like a camping trip, wasn't really camping, picnic or whatever. And there was a body of water that wasn't too far from us where we were picnicking or whatever. And I'm looking at this water, like water. And I asked my father, I said, hey, Daddy, can I go in that water? He looked at me, yeah, boy, go in that water. You know. And my mother and father, they were doing what they were doing and whatnot. And somehow my mother looked up and said, Buddy, that's what they called my father, it was a nickname. Buddy, go get Walter. I was about waist deep in the river, in the water, walking forward. Father got up, runs in the water, and grabs me and pulls me back where I'm supposed to be. And my mother said, what? I said, my father said, I didn't think the boy would really go in the water. I said, well, I guess from then on, that's one we better keep an eye on.
How old were you?
Maybe 4 or 5 years
old. Oh, my
old.
goodness. And your daddy told you to go ahead? Oh, my gosh.
about like that. I remember it, the incident and whatnot. But just one more, like I said, thing about water. I remember I couldn't have been maybe 6 or 7. We used to go to this camp called Camp Algonquin. It was way out, I believe, might have been in Wisconsin. And we would go every year. And I look forward to it. And they had this big swimming pool. I remember one day the camp counselors, they were all taking this group of kids, to go swimming. So as we approaching the swimming pool, first thing I know, I looked out there and I saw all that water. And I jetted off from everybody and I ran off into the water. And I'm just walking off in the water, getting deeper, deeper, deeper. And those little rings that separate one end from the shallow and the deep. Put it over my head. I'm walking deeper and deeper. And went to the other one. Put it over my head. Next thing, I ain't walking anymore. Somehow I'm underwater and I'm just, out here, going from this way to that way and thoughts coming to my head. You don't know how to swim, really. You ain't got no business in here. How you walking, now you doing this here, And something told me I was underwater, don't breathe. And didn't breathe. And just followed me. And as I'm doing this here, and I was in there, it had to be just a few minutes, it seemed like forever to me, but I wasn't scared. I was doing somehow instinctively. But I didn't really know what I was doing other than I knew I had to get out of this water. Next thing I go to come one ring, get out of it. Still doing this, get to the other ring. And something telling me just go this way. Put the other ring on me. Next thing, I ain't have to do this. I'm able to walk now. And I walked back over to the other end where the camp counselor was and everybody. And they looked at me. Don't you ever do that again. I was getting ready to go in after you. Glad I didn't wait on him. But anyway, he got on me like crazy, don't stay with the group and all this, which I know I should, but I just, got frantic, whatever.
Bad.
But I never forgot that. And I hope you like these few little stories that I told, instances or memories out of my life. If I think of any more, I'll bring them to you. But I appreciate you listening, and till next time, have a great day, blessed day, and keep on living. Later.